In the quiet outskirts of the Lu kingdom, as early morning mist curled through the trees, a grieving villager approached Confucius. His steps were slow, as if each one dragged a weight behind him. "Master," he said, lowering himself to the ground, "my heart. It feels too heavy to carry. I wake each day and feel the same ache. I fear this sorrow will swallow me whole. Tell me, how does one move on from loss?" Confucius studied him for a long moment. Then he rose and motioned for the man to follow. They walked through a small path that led to a simple stone well. Beside it sat an old clay jar, worn smooth by years of use. Confucius placed his hand on it. "Fill this jar with water." The man obeyed. When the water reached the very top, Confucius picked up a small pebble and dropped it in. The water spilled instantly over the sides, splashing onto the earth. "Your heart is like this jar," Confucius said, "when it is already full of hopes, fears, unfinished dreams, unspoken regrets. Even the smallest sorrow can overflow it." He then picked up a second jar. This one was larger, taller, sturdier, with thick walls that looked as though they could weather any season. "Now fill this one." The man poured water into the larger jar until the surface shimmered near the rim. Again, Confucius dropped a pebble inside. This time the water barely rippled. "When your life becomes larger than your pain," Confucius said softly, "loss will still touch you, but it will no longer drown you." Confucius began walking again, and the villager followed. They passed a field where a farmer was mending broken fences. Wooden planks lay scattered everywhere. The villager shook his head. "Why repair what's already broken?" Confucius paused. "Because healing is not about forgetting what once stood," he replied. "It is about strengthening what still remains." They continued on and came upon an old camphor tree with roots twisting deep into the soil. Confucius placed his hand against its massive trunk. "When this tree loses its leaves," he said, "it does not mourn as a man does, but it does weaken. The branches become vulnerable. Yet each spring it grows again, not because the loss meant nothing, but because its roots reach deeper than its wounds." The man lowered his gaze. "My roots feel weak, master. I fear I am hollow." Confucius stepped closer. "Grief is not proof of weakness," he said. "It is proof that you have loved. Only an empty heart feels no pain. But understand this, loss has not come to bury you. It has come to deepen you, to expand the space within you so that life may one day return." They sat beneath the camphor tree in silence. A breeze drifted through the branches, scattering small leaves across the ground. The villager watched them fall. Finally he whispered, "But the ache, it doesn't stop. It is not meant to," Confucius replied. "Some losses shape us forever, but the ache becomes lighter when we grow larger around it." He drew a circle in the dirt, small and tight. "This is you now." Then he drew a larger circle around it. "This is you becoming." Pain still sits inside, but now it has room to breathe. "And so do you." The villager's eyes filled with tears, but for the first time, they did not spill over. They rested gently, as if the heart behind them had expanded enough to hold them. "Master," he said quietly, "I think I understand." Confucius smiled. "You cannot shrink sorrow," he said, "but you can grow the soul that carries it." The sun rose higher, warming the earth. The man stood taller than before, not because the sadness had disappeared, but because his spirit had begun its slow, patient widening. And as they walked back toward the village, he no longer felt swallowed by grief. He felt something else taking shape, the beginning of space, the beginning of breath, the beginning of healing. If this parable meant something to you, tap the heart and follow for more wisdom.